fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests. Good evening, and welcome to the 168th meeting of the Toastmaster Club of Lucknow. I am Harsh Rai, the acting sergeant at arms of the Toastmaster Club of Lucknow. Before starting the meeting, first I would like to state the vision and mission of the Toastmasters Club of Lucknow. That is, we provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, which results in greater self confidence and personal growth. Now, there are certain guidelines which everyone present in the meeting is required to follow. In Toastmasters, we refrain from speaking anything about sex, caste, politics, and religion in a derogatory manner. So please refrain from speaking anything about it. Apart from that, do not interject the speaker while he or she is delivering his or her speech. If you have any queries or doubt, you can raise your virtual hand or wait for the pause that the speaker takes. Apart from that, I would request everyone to add the suffix if you are a guest, and if you are a Toastmaster, please add the prefix of TM. Uh, uh, Apart from that, I would request everyone to keep themselves on mute unless they are asked by the fellow Toastmasters or Toastmaster of the day to unmute themselves. That's all. Now I would like to hand over the stage to the presiding officer of the meeting. A little about the presiding officer, Toastmaster Shubham. He is a BCom graduate from the National PG College. He is currently pursuing his MBA from a recognized university in Gurgaon. Apart from that, he loves to explore different cuisines and he loves to play volleyball. He is one of the most passionate Toastmasters, a great storyteller, as we all know. That said, I would like to hand over the stage to the presiding officer, Toastmaster Shubham Sinha. Over to you. Can we have a
Thank,
huge round of applause for her, for him?
thank you, Toastmaster Hers. Thank you for adding all the time, adding a small thing after my intro and letting me know new things about me, like I'm a good storyteller. Thank you for that. And hello, everyone. Welcome you all to the 168th meet of Toastmaster Club of Lucknow. And well, first of all, happy Karwa Chauth to all of you. I guess who all are celebrating Karwa Chauth? Anyone? Well, we don't have Sweta ma'am here. Jatin here? Toastmaster Jatin? Okay. This
Yeah,
after
I still haven't had my breakfast. So if you can consider that.
yeah, well, I guess after 2 years or 1 year, you will be celebrating Karwa Chauth. Hope so. Mm. Well, let's move forward. Today I can't, I'm not able to see any guests, but yeah, today we have some Toastmaster guests from another club, Toastmaster Amisha and Toastmaster Himanshu. I can't see, I guess, yeah. And Toastmaster Harsh too. Thank you for joining all the time, Toastmaster Harsh. And well, one more thing. Today is National Youth Confidence Day. To all the youths out there, thank you very much for joining and for for enhancing the confidence of public speaking. And yeah, today I can't see any guests. I'm just waiting for any guests. In Tech Master, I guess she's Manvi. And so let's move forward and let's
Let's
call.
ask our tech master to give guest appearance.
But I guess who I really don't know who is the tech master. So tech master, can you please unmute yourself and can you please switch on your camera? Well, I guess whoever is this, he or she is not willing to. So okay, let's move forward. Today I was just thinking that how time flies. Like already we are in October, and it made me realize how easy it is to lose the track of time in our busy life. Like it, and October is also about to end. And after October, November, December, and 2024 is gone. So that's why today's session is on time management, and it is going to led by a very great Toastmaster of a Toastmaster. Toastmaster Club of Lucknow. He is a he's a public speaking champion, I can say. He represented Division F from our division, Division F to the in District 124 humorous speech contest. He is current area director of Area 2 of District 124, and he is none other than Toastmaster Jatin Kilani. Please have a big round of applause for Toastmaster Jatin.
Thank you. Thank you, Shubham, our presiding officer and president for Toastmasters Club of Lucknow, not only for those kind words, but also those clearly white lies. And I'll refer to those again during the session because I have a very apt section for those too. But now that Shubham has already introduced what the theme for today is, and our Sergeant at Arms has sort of set the tone, it's time to get going because, as the theme says, the clock is ticking. But before we move forward, let's talk about what do you guys think of this theme itself. So let me ask a couple of folks in here as to what according to them is the importance of time in their life. What is one specific thing that they are failing to manage, or not even failing, or are failing or succeeding to manage with respect to time, and how do they go about doing it? Because we have heard lot many quotes. Time and tide wait for none. The way we spend our time defines who we are, and time is what we want most, but we use worst. Don't ask me to quote the names of all the people who have said these things because I didn't have time to note this down, not to research about them either. But hopefully, you can also share which is your favorite quote regarding time. So let me start with first Toastmaster Akshat. Three things. One, a quote or your thoughts about time. What is your what is the thing that you fail or succeed in managing in time? What are you looking for this session? In this session?
Thank you, Toastmaster Jatin. I I think as you mentioned that time and tide don't wait for anyone. I think there is a Hindi song that says जिंदगी के सफर में गुजर जाते हैं जो मकाम वो फिर नहीं आते, right? So that's how true this thing is, and therefore respecting time is something that we are all struggling about. And one thing that I struggle with time is that no matter how much I plan and prioritize, I would always end up thinking that I could have done more. So no amount of planning and scheduling would satisfy me. That's my challenge. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thanks, Akshay, for sharing that. Toastmaster Deepak, our latest, or rather latest, one of the latest newer members. Toastmaster Deepak, welcome, and please share your thoughts.
Yeah. So good afternoon, all. The time is a precious thing. As time is a money, sometimes in business, it's also said like that. So time management is very critical and important, right? Because if you are not managing your time efficiently, you are missing your professional as well as personal goals also. Because the family and the professional need to be balanced, and that is required a proper and good time management. That's all for my end. Thank you.
All right, thank you for sharing that. Let's ask Toastmaster Archita.
So, a few days ago, when I was playing the role of timer, I read a quote somewhere that time is that, like a similar quote kind of, time is that bird which flies and we can't even stop it or just slow it down. So it is something which flies and flies and flies. And I try to manage my time, lots of things, and especially managing all the role players and finding it. And I always end up like circulating the flyer and talking to the T-board and general evaluator at the last day of the meeting. I was doing it just 2 or 3 hours ago, so I fail at that point. I fail in my life. Other things I try to manage, but sometimes I fail there too. And I think someone just said that jitta, like as much as we get time, it's never enough. It's always something which want more and more and more. So that's all. That's my thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing those thoughts. And within very precisely, I would say within the time limit that we have right now, because you all guys have already hinted at a lot of things that we are supposed to do when we have to manage our tasks, because it's not time that you are managing. Time is an uncontrollable resource. You cannot stop. You cannot uh, use it to as per your need. It's just is something that is continuous, and you are just flowing with it and utilizing it to the best of your capabilities. What you're managing here are your tasks, are your activities within the time that you can allocate to that particular task. That being said, the task that we have at hand is conducting a Toastmaster, or rather, I have at hand is conducting this Toastmasters meeting. And like everything else, every other task, a Toastmasters meeting requires planning too, because it has a specific structure. And the structure for every Toastmasters meeting is, as you prepare for a task, for any task that you have to plan for, you also have to a prepared session wherein our prepared speakers who have put in their efforts to come up with speeches of great importance, of wonderful topics, and they were going to present to us within the section during the time allocated. The second section is all about dealing with things that come up urgently, that come up on the spot, that make you think on your feet. And to practice that in the aspect of public speaking, we have our very own table topic section, which would be conducted by our table topics master Suraj Kumar, who will be hopefully joining us soon. And last but not least, once you have done all the planning and you have conducted these sessions, you have to, in hindsight, look at those things as to how well you could have done this. Now, obviously, in life, you don't always get, you are the ones who are supposed to look at your own things and then work upon it, improve. But at Toastmasters, there are people who are here to help you provide feedback. And that happens through our very own evaluation section. That evaluation section is conducted or led by a person who's called the general evaluator. Now, today's general evaluator is I know who that person is, but I was looking for it for her intro. So, is someone who's from another club, one of the newer clubs, SRMS Club Bareilly. She is a final year student of MBA. That's we at all at TMCL know that we have a very personal connection with MBA, but she's already in her final year, and she has keen interest in operations management and marketing analytics. Beyond academics, she's a treasurer of the club, and she loves animals, dancing, and photography. She's also the Sergeant Rams at SRMS Club, and when I asked her what does time mean to her, she said time is a valuable asset which represents opportunities for growth and connection. And she sees it as a currency she can invest in meaningful experiences, relationships, and personal development. In short, time is money. Well, until I read the last line, I was about to say that we are glad that she's investing her time in building this wonderful relationship with TMCL and helping us conduct a good quality meeting at TMCL. Obviously, we cannot offer money for her time, because we can always reciprocate in kind. So hopefully, to help us improve, you get the best value of our money, of our time, please put your hands together for our general evaluator for today, Toastmaster Mishara Vashni.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Jatin Kalani. And it's lovely to connect with you all. And I cannot agree much with you that you have already mentioned why I am here at Toastmasters Club, and I'm already building connections with you all. And that's actually the value of time to me. And I know sometimes this value is going to be converted in money. Sorry to mention this again. And I just want to share a shairi that I've written a couple of days ago. Are you all ready to hear that shairi? Okay, okay. Thank you, Toastmaster Shibam, for this. Appreciate it. Okay, so it goes like this. मेरी हमेशा वक्त से यही शिकायत रहती है मेरी हमेशा वक्त से यही शिकायत रहती है कि ये घड़ी की सुइयां कभी थम क्यों नहीं जाती हैं. So I what actually think is that the lovely moments pass like a second, and the things that are worse, the difficult days, they'll last like for the whole time, for the life. So with that, I will not take much more time and proceeding to this meeting. I have a very lovely team of a few people known as the timer, our counter, grammarian, and listener too. So please let me introduce all these. First, we have timer Toastmaster Deepak Negi. He has started his journey from HCL Infosystems, Noida, and worked at the headquarters of Utkarsh Bank at Varanasi. At present, he is serving as Assistant Vice President and looks after infrastructure services, systems, and computer networks. And the reason why he is at Toastmasters is to overcome stage fright. Sorry, it's a stage fright. He gets nervous when his name is called to speak, and he is interested in enhancing his leadership skills. He's started reading a lot on public speaking, and he feels he can be a good motivational speaker. So put your hands together for Toastmaster Deepak Negi.
Yeah. As a timer, my role is to remind speaker how much time they spend on their speech and how much time they have before they should finish their speech. I will raise the green card when the speech is long enough according to the speech. And yellow card will be raised when they should be aware of their time is up, and red card when the suggested time is finished. There will be a 30-second buffer time after the red card when I will continue to hold up the red card up. So timings are like that. For prepared speech is up from 5 to 7 minutes. Green card on 5 minutes, yellow card on 6 minutes, and red card on 7 minutes. Right. For speech evaluator, the green speech evaluation is of 2 to 3 minutes, and green card is on 2 minutes, yellow card is on 2.30 minutes, and red card on 3 minutes. For a table topic session, the speech is 1 to 2 minutes, green card is on 1 minute, yellow card on 1.30 seconds, and red card on 2 minutes. At the end of meeting, I will present my report for everyone. For now, please enjoy the meeting. Back to the general evaluator. Thank you.
As the concept of time management, and it's the duty of timer to maintain that particular time. I hope that it's a very tough task to do. Thanks to you, and I hope that you can do that well. So next we have Toastmaster Archita Banwal, and she will be playing the role of both our counter as well as grammarian. Toastmaster Archita Banwal is a BBA graduate currently pursuing Masters in Economics. She has served Toastmasters Club of Lucknow as the secretary and vice president membership. Now she is the vice president education for this term, and apart from this, her hobbies include traveling, gardening, singing, dancing, cooking, making crafts, reading books, and more. Wow, it's lovely to see so many have hobbies here. And it's over to you, Toastmaster Archita.
Thank you so much, General Evaluator, ma'am, for this nice introduction. And today I'm playing two roles. So the first one is our counter. So our counter is like it looks like a small role, but it's not, and it is something which can make or break your speech at the same time. So as an R counter, my role is to keep the count of all the crutch words or the extra pauses or unnecessary things you use in between your speeches. For example, basically, actually, like etc., etc., words like which are not needed at that time. And I will count all these things and present my report at the end of the meeting when the general evaluator calls the counter. And secondly, uh, as a grammarian, my role is to like it's more like a language evaluator. I will look everyone whoever gonna speak here. I'll see after their speaking whatever they are speaking, and I'll see the grammatical mistakes over there, and I will count the good usage and not so good usage of language, and I will present my report at the end. But before that, I have two more things: the word of the day and a phrase of the day. And the word of the day for today's meeting is intercept, which means to stop or catch something moving. For example, the goalie intercepted the saucer ball, and you can use this word anywhere while speaking in today's meeting. And the second one is the phrase of the day. So, the phrase of the day for today's meeting is the beat the clock, which means to finish a task before the time runs out or before a deadline. For example, Sarah finished her match test 5 minutes before the time was up, managing to beat the clock. So I request all the members and speakers present here to please use the word of the day and phrase of the day in your speeches while speaking, and I will give a thumbs up whenever you use the word of the day and phrase of the day. And overall, I present my both the reports at the end of the meeting. Till then, enjoy the meet and back to general evaluator.
Wonderful. Last but not the least, we have listener Toastmaster Richa Chauhan. She is from Ghaziabad and she is 24 years old. Toastmaster Richa has completed post-graduation in sociology in 2022. She is here to improve communication skills, especially in English, and she would love to learn a few more languages. Currently, she is working in a real estate company. Wonderful, and it's over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, ma'am. Hi, everyone. My name is Richa Chauhan, and today my role as the listener is to pay close attention to everything happening in the meeting. And I will listen carefully to the speech and discussion. At the end, I will ask some simple question to see how well everyone was listening. So let's enjoy the meeting and stay focused. Back to the general evaluator. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, and I hope that that's all from my side. So that's again over to you, Toastmaster Chetan.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator and the evaluation team for giving very wonderful, precise introductions to your roles and letting us know what you guys are looking for in the meeting. Hopefully, we can live up to those expectations and or the benchmarks that have been set without intercepting the quality or the purpose of today's meeting. And hopefully, along with beating the clock by living up to today's agenda. Now, that agenda is a very important aspect in time management. Akshat already mentioned no matter how much you plan, it seems that it's never enough. Deepakji said it's good to manage it because it's a very wonderful resource, just like money, as Amisha has mentioned. And for Archita, it just flies by, as is the today's meeting. What it says, the clock, where is it, is really ticking. So how do we know so much about managing time, but how do we actually do that? Does anybody have any techniques that they know of that they have used to manage time? Let me ask some other people now. So, Richa, what's your time management technique?
So time is the most valuable things in our life. So we should manage our time in a good way and utilize when we should have time. That's it. Thank you.
Okay. Asankhya, what's your time management technique?
So by technique, Toastmaster Jatin, again, it can be very subjective. If, depending upon what exactly I am into, it can vary. Again, I am again a big procrastinator in terms of doing a lot of things. At times, I am very proactive when it comes to doing time things as well. At the same time, it primarily depends on what exactly my priority will be. So, in short, it's about prioritizing in a way that requires more attention, should be given, like, should be paid more first attention to, so that you are at the end of the day over a weekend not caught up thinking you have a lot of backlog to take it forward. So first come first serve basis, or finance or accounts, I had a concept called uh, P4, or a first in first out. So I would prefer if I had something that has been put in my calendar to be catered to first, and accordingly that would help me make sure that I do not miss out on it, and that would make sure eventually acting as a catalyst to make sure I am adhering to the timelines.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. I think both Richa and you have sort of hit the nail on the head in terms of what exactly do we do. There are times, so all of us have concepts in our mind on how do we want to manage our time. So did I. I feel you. I am a big procrastinator too as well. Well, lethargy is my strong suit. Uh, but how do I use that to my benefit is varies, has been varying since I have been working upon it since school, college, and now. And then I realized when Archita asked me to become the Toastmaster of the day for today's meeting as to what exactly, and before I say no, the reason I wanted to say no because I didn't have enough time with all my other things that are going on. So the only thing that I could think of is why am I not able to manage time to make time for something that I love so much, which is Toastmasters? And though my immediate instinct was to go back and look at foundations of what are the best ways to manage those times. And I found something that I would like to share with you. First thing, that is more of a not a time management technique, but a law itself. It says the Parkinson, or rather, it says the time expands, or not time, the task expands to fill whatever time available you have. So Lord Akshat was saying, doesn't matter how much you plan, you always think that is not enough. That's because you have it in mindset that, okay, I had so much available time, I could just fill it in. An example is I had to do a task, a project over the weekend. I had 4 days to do that, rather 3 days to do that, because on the first day I mailed my supervisor and said, I'm not able to do it today. Can I get more time? And he said, okay, I give you 3 days. So what I was supposed to do in one day, I got 3 days. I ended up doing in 4 days because the fourth day was a buffer. So as long as you have time available, you'll ensure that you'll continue expanding your work to fill that time available. Obviously, the idea is you have to set strict deadlines and limit time for tasks. Doesn't matter whether it's how good it is, how whether you're able to do the best of your capabilities or the best to which you can achieve that task to be done. The work should end when the time allocated for that particular task ends. And a way of doing that, obviously, we cannot talk all in jargon. So, a way of doing that is like in Toastmasters context. How do we go about implementing this technique? Is we prepare an agenda. For people who have not seen today's agenda, let's quickly have a look at it and see why is it important to follow that in order to have a good meeting. You have time in your agenda for every single activity that you need to perform. You just because you are here on the stage, like I am here on the stage, I do not get unlimited time to speak on whatever I'm supposed to or want to speak. There is specific time allocated for each activity. And even though we are delayed because we started a bit late, it's our responsibility to not just take these 7 minutes or 3 minutes that are allocated, but to move further so as to you can map the agenda and get back, beat the clock by aligning ourselves to what the agenda says. So in that, for that purpose, limiting my further thoughts, I would now like to start with the first section for today's meeting, which is the prepared speech session. And like I've already said, prepared speech session is for us to hear the wonderful artifacts that have been of creativity, of art, and that have been prepared by our prepared speakers for today. Our first prepared speaker is someone who is also one of the new members of our club, our TMCL family. But before I introduce him, I'd like to call upon his evaluator to let us know what the objectives of his speech are, and then obviously go on to introduce him. Now, our evaluator for today's, or rather the first speaker, is somebody whom you've already seen talk, because he is none other than our presiding officer, or also the president of Toastmasters Club of Lucknow. And how does he go about introducing himself, as he was a BCom, or rather is still a BCom graduate from National PG College, even though he's moved on to pursuing his MBA from Great Lakes in Gurgaon. But other than his studies, he loves to play volleyball and enjoys movies. But he balances his sport activities by ensuring that he tries out different cuisines. And one of the cuisines that he is very fond of is of public speaking, is of Toastmasters. So please put your hands together for welcoming once again the first evaluator of today, Toastmaster Shubham Sinha. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jatin. And well, sorry for intercepting in between the flow of Toastmaster meet. But before calling the first speaker, I would like to ask Toastmaster Deepak how you will be showing the timer cards. Like, you change your background or you show a timer card.
I am changing the background. Yes.
Okay, so Toastmaster Akshat, like, you got that you will be changing the background. So, just, let me state call Toastmaster Akshat, a seasoned technology manager and a tech enthusiast who hails from a vibrant city of Lucknow. Akshan has spent his formative year in Lucknow, deeply connecting with its rich culture and dynamic tech community. Today, Toastmaster Akshat is delivering his level 1 project 2. His pathway is dynamic leadership, and the objective of speech is writing a speech with purpose. Timer, please note that time for the speech is 6 to 7 minutes. Let's call Toastmaster Akshat. Toastmaster Akshat, life is a journey, not a destination. Life is a journey, not a destination. Toastmaster Akshat.
Hello, distinguished Toastmasters. As you all know my topic, you would agree, or rather you should agree, how very unique and original this topic is. Probably you would never have heard of this topic. And this is probably as original as, let's say, honesty is the best policy, or something like be good, do good, or something like neki kar darya mein dal, right? So no matter how prevalent this topic is, how well known this topic is, it's not that I never heard of this topic, but it started to make sense to me. And it struck me the first time when I saw this as the WhatsApp status of one of my strict bosses. And every time I would see this WhatsApp status against my boss's stern looking face in the WhatsApp DP, I would get even more intimidated, right? And his status was even more intimidating. It read something like, conduct matters. After all, it's a it's a journey, not a destination, right? So I had this idea that I would have a very tough time with my new boss. And rightly so, a lot of people in the department would fear him. And rightly so, I had a very tough time with my new boss for 6 to 8 months. And I had a sigh of relief when I was assigned to some other boss, right? So this particular quotation, I started looking at this quotation in a larger context. And what better than looking at traveling, because traveling is a journey in itself, and in some way or the other it basically mimics life, right? So in that sense, let me ask some of you, like when you do traveling, and when I mean traveling, I mean traveling for leisure, right? So let me ask Jatin, when you do traveling, in a word or two, could you let me know what does traveling do to you?
And engage, entertain, excite.
Exactly. So traveling would engage you, entertain you, excite you. Also, it's a way to move out of your current situation and explore something in real time. No matter how much you would have read about experiences, and that's what we do in business also. Like based on past data, we are trying to do all sort of recommendations, right? That's what data analytics is all about. But when you travel, you gain experiences firsthand. And that's what I also experienced when I did my first international travel to Hong Kong. So this was a business trip. This was a solo trip. And I had all the anxieties of someone who is traveling for the first time to an international location. And rightly so, when I was at Chhatrapati Shivaji International Terminus, not terminus, terminus is the station, Chhatrapati Shivaji International Airport, I realized that I have this sense of awe as I look at the international terminal. I was a bit anxious because I was not sure if my passport would have any issues or not, if my visa would be okay or not. And mostly I was looking with a sense of awe all around. And that's when one of the guys from the customs department walks up to me and starts to interrogate me. And he would ask me all questions about where are you going, what is your purpose, and whatnot. So this was a very unpleasant experience. And I would probably empathize with what Shah Rukh Khan feels when he goes to the US and he's being interrogated out of turn at the airports, right? So that's the exact experience that I had, right? Fast forward to my landing in Hong Kong. I check into a very nice five-star hotel, and this hotel is in south of Hong Kong. This hotel was booked by one of my bosses from London, and that's why I got a five-star hotel. And the per day expenses that I was allowed to do was being managed by my India bosses, right? So I was in a very precarious situation. While I was staying in a five-star hotel, my per day expenses were limited by the India department. And that meant I could stay in the five-star hotel, but to eat food, I couldn't afford anything from the menu of the five-star hotel. So I would walk like 3-4 miles to some restaurant to eat food. So I continued this for 1 or 2 days. And then I got literally pissed off to the extent that I thought instead of calling my India bosses, let me speak to my London boss. And I tell him that, boss, the accommodation is quite good, but I have to walk 3-4 miles to get my food. So he said, why are you traveling so far to eat your food? Eat in the hotel itself and pass on the bill to me. That's the time I actually felt a lot of redemption, because sometimes some of your cravings get answered. And this was exactly how I felt. It's something like when you walk to your mother and ask for a favor, and if she's not entertaining, you go to your dad and your wish is fulfilled. So that's the kind of experience I had. And this entire experience felt like a scene from a movie called Dulhe Raja by Govinda, in which some customers are staying in the five-star hotel, but they are eating their food outside of the hotel. Anyway, the other things that travel actually exposes to you is the sensitivities that you have regarding travel. Like, for instance, some of you might feel motion sickness during travel. Some of you might have problems with traveling in train or the aeroplane, right? Similarly, when I noticed this tall looking buildings in Hong Kong, the skyscrapers, I realized that these buildings create headache in me. So that's the sensitivity that got exposed while I was traveling. And thirdly, and most importantly, the I was very confident that I would order a veg sandwich in Subway and I would get the sandwich. So I get a veg sandwich and I enjoy eating it, but suddenly I experience something unfamiliar in taste. And that's when I open the lid of the sandwich, I realize that there is a piece of meat inside, which they famously call bacon, right? And that's when I am completely displeased. So these are some experiences that happened in travel. And therefore, I think that when you travel, you would gain a lot of pleasant as well as unpleasant experiences. But you should definitely be doing so. And I'm not saying that you always go to Ladakh on a motorcycle. That's a very stereotype uh, travel. But you should do things on your own and gain as much experience and expertise as you can by traveling. So that's about it. Thank you for giving me time. Over to you, General Evaluator. Thank you.
Thank you, Akshat, for sharing your journey or rather your life journey or journey is your life experience. And one E that I sort of missed while responding to your question was that, and which sort of is the summary of your speech as well. Well, journey or traveling not only engages, entertains, but it also enlightens. It gives you these experiences that you really can remember and work upon for throughout your life. For example, when I went to Hong Kong for the remember memory that I had with my family is those squid corners at every single corner or every single crossing, just like our chai corners in India or samosa corners in India. So being a vegetarian, I can feel you, but hopefully we can talk about that sometime later. Moving on to our second speaker, and the evaluator is missing. Toastmaster Achyuta, is Himanshu going to join back? I think he might have a network problem. But that while you
Give me
connect
a
with
minute.
Himanshu, that gives me an opportunity to talk some more about the thing that I missed to or cut short. Because at the very one of the other techniques that is mentioned or that is very famous because of a philosopher author named Mark Twain, who said, if we eat the frog first thing in the morning, eat a live frog rather first thing in the morning, and then the rest of the day would go well for you, because that's the worst thing that there's nothing worse that could happen to you throughout the day. Based on that uh, quote, people came up with this second time management technique that I am going to share with you, which is, come on, come on. Eat the frog technique, wherein it says that if you are stuck, you are a procrastinator, you don't know what to do first thing in the morning, just prioritize your list and go with the most difficult thing that you hate or you are not really willing to do that day. Start with that thing first thing in the morning. Well, for me, it seems like today is going to do well because I was not sure how my team session is going to be, and I was not really prepared for it. But still, I didn't choose to, but I anyways have to do this the first thing in my morning, and I think I've already eaten that frog from that perspective. Hopefully, hopefully, everybody here can note down what things that challenge them every single day and what they like to not do, but rather attempt at doing that. And that frog, just like the squids in Hong Kong or bacon in Akshat's speech, actually become a tasty meal to you and not something that's unpleasant. I think we have our second evaluator in the meeting back now. We'll move on, continue with the prepared speech section by introducing our second evaluator, who is none other than District 124's current still, because he, for the term 23-24, he was the district evaluation contest runner-up. He is a member of Kanpur Toastmasters Club, and he is also, I believe, into agriculture business. He loves farming, staying close to the nature, and giving us evaluations through his wonderful evaluation speeches. So please put your hands together for Toastmaster Himanshu, who is the second evaluator for today. Himanshu, please, over to you for introducing the second speaker. And
Thank you, Toastmaster
your
Jatin.
speech
Am I
objectives.
audible? Am I audible? Yeah, my net
Yes,
frequency
you
is a
are.
little low, so I'll not turn my video on. I apologize. The speaker today is giving a level 4 speech 2. Timer, please note the timing for the speech is 5 to 7 minutes. The speech objective for the speaker is to prepare a speech after getting a feedback from his first speech and then present a speech. All the best to the speaker. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Oops, sorry. I didn't realize that I'm the one supposed to introduce. So let me introduce our second speaker, who is attempting his second speech of fourth project of the first level, L1P4B. which is all about evaluation. That is, he's already received a feedback on the first time he gave this speech, and now he's trying to incorporate feedback from that first attempt. And he's doing this for his strategic relationships pathway. But other than that, the speaker hails from Shahjahanpur in Uttar Pradesh and working as a investment banker in Delhi again, round two, I believe, or maybe multiple, I'm not sure, but hopefully we can, just like his investment banking, we can also get some investments for the club and our own startups for people who are entrepreneurs here. But other than that, he loves to watch cricket, football, and listen to music. Please put your hands together for Toastmaster Nikhil Yadav, the unspoken countdown, Nikhil Yadav.
Have you ever sat in silence, just listening to the ticking of a clock? Not the one on the wall, but the one that we feel deep inside. It's a clock that keeps time with every breath we take, every sunset we watch, and every call we miss. It's a call that reminds us of the one inevitable truth that we all know but rarely speak about. The truth that one day our parents, our anchors, will no longer be here. As I was brainstorming ideas for today's speech, my mother, who was sitting beside me, pointed out how the veins in her hands have become more visible than before. I took her hand in mine, and as she continued talking, a sudden realization struck me. Realization that she is getting older. It was a stark reminder of a fact I always knew, but never really consciously observed. Fellow Toastmasters and dear guests, time is running relentlessly. And every day we spend with our parents is one day less that we have left. The invincible figures of our childhood are slowly giving into time, and one day, no matter we are ready or not, they will leave us. There's a poem by Khalil Gibran that captures this bittersweet reality very appropriately. It goes like, they are the sons and daughters of life's longing for itself. They come through you, but not from you. And they, though they are with you, yet they belong not to you. Our parents, too, are not ours to hold on to forever, friends. They have their own journey just like us. And this is the painful beauty of life, that nothing is truly ours to hold on to. I've spent the last 12 years living away from home, first in Lucknow and Delhi for my education and now for work, while my parents continue to live in my hometown, Shahjahanpur. In the early years, I used to call my father once a week, but he never called me back, or at least not on his own. Slowly, as I grew up, these occasional calls from my side uh, faded away. And now, I mean, a moment came then our in-person meetings and conversations themselves uh, used to be very, very candid. They used to be very brief and surface level. With most of the times, I was dodging his questions. So back then, probably he was too occupied in his own world to realize the growing gap, the growing emotional gap between us. However, lately he started complaining that how I only ever called my mom and I do not call. To which I defensively shoot back, saying that you never called me either. But now, as I watch him grow older, I realize, what if this was his way to say that he misses me? What if this is just a plea for attention? I could stubbornly hold on to the past, clinging on to the fact that he never called me when he was busy, or I could see the quiet longing of a father who just does not know how to ask his son to be closer. There will come a time when I'll pick up the phone to call him, but no matter how badly I want it,